Emma, this movie, it's incredibly compelling, really powerful, and we follow your character, of course, Fiona May, who is this High Court judge presiding over extremely complex cases. But what was it like for you when you first got the script? Did you get a sense of the strength of this script immediately?
Oh yes! Oh my goodness, yes. We don't really know much about judges who are women, and because hardly any women have that kind of power anyway. And I've never seen a story about a woman who is a judge, so it's one of those new stories. Hooray, girls! Yeah, woman in power! Wow! And a really interesting one. So it's not. There's no formula about it. There's no goodies, baddies, blah 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 blah. Although actually, someone said to me the other day, when you see her in action in court, she's like a superhero. She's just sort of, you know, she's got mind like a razor, you know. It's fantastic playing somebody like that. But of course it occurs at a point in her life where there's this very rocky moment in her marriage. So it's that boundary between your sort of private life and this public life that she leads. Because as a judge, one forgets you're a public servant. You know, you're not a kind of lawyer who's the sort of silk, have much, much more elbow room and room to sort of pick and choose not to work. If you're a judge, you know, you'll be on the rota, so you'll be called and you have to be the duty judge. You are on call like a doctor. And that's it was a completely no-brainer, absolutely up. Hello, yes, I'd love to do this immediately.
Well, that was good, because I did read somewhere that the director, Richard Eyre, of course, had said that this would not have happened if you didn't want to play Fiona. It was as simple as that, and he means it even more so in hindsight. So immediate responsibility clearly on your behalf.
Anyway, no pressure, but I'm glad he didn't tell me that at the time.
Yes, fair enough. He did mean it though, apparently. So, but yes, we talk about the marriage and this sort of public life and private life that your character is going through. Stanley Tucci playing Jack, your husband, who I completely adore.
He's amazing. And so without giving the game away, you know, he just decides to throw a grenade into the room. And sometimes it's the only way to get somebody to stop.
In a very honest way.
Really honest. Yeah. But that's the best form of grenade, isn't it? You know, where you suddenly say something fantastically truthful and extremely difficult. And she, because she's not used to being challenged, of course, that's the other thing about being a judge, is you do think, oh, it must be very difficult not to get a sense of being omniscient and omnipotent. I mean, I know we get a lot of power because of the positions that we're in, that we're now well-known women who have a voice, and that's unusual. It's very unusual, but she sits above. You actually, when you're sitting there in that seat of judgment, you get this real sense of how easy it would be to lose sight of your kinship with the grassroots, you know. Although the women I know in that position are absolutely aware, they're absolutely able to put aside the scales and the responsibility and then get on with their lives, because they've got very complex family lives. I mean, one of the women that I know, I mean, I love these women so much, I've made friends with two of them. And one, you know, up at 4 in the morning to do the work of the morning before the kids get up so that she's there for them to go to school. I mean, the level of work and the capacity, the brain capacity, they're so, I mean, they are like superheroes to me.
Yeah, they're extraordinary women, actually. And it is something that you just don't think about.
No! When you say the word surgeon, it's got to be a man. And when you say the word judge, people, I think, still in this day and age, would automatically think, oh, that's going to be a man. So that's... we have to catch ourselves on all the time, I find, because having been born in 1959 and swallowed the patriarchy whole, you know, I still have all those sort of assumptions. And it's my daughter's generation who don't. Yeah. They're really exciting people, those young people. So what I'm really pleased about with this movie is that it does represent a woman in this position, and it was an extraordinary thing to play.
Yeah, an intense thing to play.
Yeah, really intense.
Did you take it home with you at all? Did you manage to be able to separate?
I'll tell you what I took home with me was blooming well rehearsing that piano piece until my family said, I'm so sorry, you are going to have to stop now or we are not going to let you back in the house. I mean, my husband was just... and my daughter was even worse. She said, no, Mum, no, start. And our house is small enough so that she would hear it wherever it is. I'd go upstairs. I can still hear you. So that was...
wasn't just playing, it was singing and playing.
I know, and we did it live.
Yeah.
We did it absolutely live. But what's good about that is that there's something tentative about it, even though I'd rehearsed it 17 billion times. And there's something, therefore, completely honest about it, because it's not something that you did later. You know, you recorded later. So there was no safety in it.
Yeah, and you saw her being quite vulnerable at that point as well, didn't you? I think that was a really emotional sort of part. All eyes were on her as well again.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it was a very tough.
It does make you think about attention and what it does to you.
No, of course it does. And as I say, it's one of those films that feels. This is the wrong way to describe it. It feels grown up.
No, I think that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, I did. I sat there and I thought, this is the first movie where I've really engaged in it.
Yeah.
And it's not all about green screens and flying spaceships. This is like a
knowing what's going to happen. That's what gets me about the Marvel films and all of that stuff is that you, in the end, I mean, even though they can be very enjoyable to watch, you do know what's going to happen.
Yes, you can sort of guess, can't you? The world will be okay.
The world will be okay and the good people will win.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what's going to happen.
That's it.
And that's so nice to see a grown-up film where you go, there's no sort of good and evil, there's lots of grey, there's good behaviour and bad behaviour on both sides.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely right.
Which is life.
It is great to. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
So nice to see you.
Thank you and the children. It's superb, and you're superb in it.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to meet you.